medical equipment from Turkey, including a lot of life-saving equipment, and 10 state-of-the-art ambulances will arrive here next week, inshallah. More medical equipment are being procured from the COVID-19 funds, and these are going to be distributed across the length and breadth of this country to strengthen all the health facilities in all the regions of the Gambia. These include oxygen concentrators, defibrillators, digital X-ray machines, patient monitors, ventilators, just to name a few. The Ministry of Health has also started the renovation of a number of facilities across the length and breadth of this country. Work is ongoing at the Eseo District Hospital. The Njau Health Post is being renovated. Wuli Kerawan Health Post is being renovated, and the ministry is putting up a hemodialysis center at the Bansang General Hospital for the service of the people who reside in those regions, and that will be the second hemodialysis center for the Gambia, in addition to that at EFSTH. The Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital and the Polyclinic in Banjul will soon get entire renovation to upgrade the facilities, to upgrade the structures, to make them functional for the service delivery that they are supposed to be doing. We are also pleased to inform all of you that postgraduate training has started at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. That means we are training doctors to specialize in general surgery and in obstetrics and gynecology. That is already ongoing, and these doctors do not have to travel outside to become specialists in those areas, to become consultants, to provide those services to the people of this country. We've also gotten accreditation to train specialists in pediatrics, internal medicine, and family medicine, and the first cohort of candidates have passed their primary exams to start training in these fields, and very soon we'll get trainers from elsewhere, from outside, to join with the local trainers here to commence training in these 3 disciplines. These go a long way in filling the gap in specialist care in the Gambia. This is an important step in our capacity building drive, because it will reduce the referral rate of patients outside the Gambia, and it will ensure that our people get quality healthcare service delivery right here at home. The government is also on the verge of starting the construction of a new state-of-the-art health center at Njau, Upper Salum. This will be started very soon, and that region that has been deprived of quality health care, where the health indicators have been very low for so many years, for many decades for that matter, that area will also get a new state-of-the-art health center. We are also happy to announce that 5 health posts have been constructed at Tampoto, Brikama Nyambai, Brikama Welingara, Busumbala, and Makumbaya, and these facilities will be inaugurated in a few weeks. 11 other similar facilities will be built across the length and breadth of the country. We are also pleased to inform you that work is far advanced in renovating the Serekunda Sandika Health Center. This will soon be expanded and upgraded. The logistics are being put in place. The Brikama Major Health Center is also going to be renovated and revamped. The Buyam General Hospital is also going to be renovated very soon. So in summary, a whole lot is happening behind the scenes And we are happy that you are here for us to give you a summary. This is just the tip of the iceberg as to what is happening, all the development that is happening in the Ministry of Health across the length and breadth of this country. Once again, we want to use the opportunity to thank you very much and to thank the Honorable Minister of Information and Communication Infrastructure for convening this press conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Samade. Because of Dr. Samade's deliberation, you also talked about the significance of wearing this mask. And this is why this morning, when we decided to go to this press conference, we decided to put enough mask for everybody, for the whole world, seriousness with which this government takes this mask wearing. And now when you take the ministerial,
Yeah.
Can we proceed? Yeah. I was alluding to Dr. Samate's speech that he talked about the significance of mask wearing. And that was why this morning, before we conveyed, we decided since last night, the Honorable Minister and the entire COVID committee last night at the Vice President's office, that we should come with enough masks so that as journalists, because you represent us, you know, in a sense, because you are communicators, so that when people see you wear masks during this press conference, it will help for the people in the Gambia to appreciate the magnitude and the seriousness of this disease, and significance of mask wearing. And that was why we brought it. And we hope and pray that we will continue to wear this, because as I speak, the news today, we never said this, but I'm breaking the news to you, that part of the new regulations that President Adama Barrow signed into law and have been gazetted, is that mask wearing is now mandatory in the Gambia. In fact, beginning immediately, effective immediately, mask wearing is mandatory. However, since it was not announced, and given the fact that it involves some little cost here and there, you know, up to next Friday, you know, people should start now having the habit of mask wearing, because you can be assured that by next Friday, you will start having problems with the police if they see you on the streets and you are not in a mask. You have to explain why. It is now law. It's been gazetted that mask wearing is mandatory in the Gambia. Another important announcement I wanted to make is about ECOMIC, the African forces that have been here since the impasse. There is an antecedent to their presence in the Gambia. We had a president who lost elections, who conceded defeat, and last minute he decided to recant his concession. Gambia was on the brink of war. The world leaders converged in New York and elsewhere, Western capitals, in Senegal, in West Africa. They've been toying and throwing into and out of the Gambia many, many times. A compromise could not be reached, and that's why it was called an impasse. Subsequent to the impasse, they decided that for sanity to prevail, we had to have forces here that would fix the situation. Until at such a time that we feel the fragile peace is been fixed. The economic forces are not paid for by the Gambia government. And over it has been peddled on the internet that the Gambia is losing millions of dollars. That actually is totally inaccurate. The monies are paid for by the European Union. The ECOWAS are here to protect President Barrow, the Gambian people, and the sovereign integrity of this country. We knew the looming dangers that led to ECOWAS coming here. They have a mission to help us maintain the sovereign democracy that we all fought for. and to suggest otherwise really maintain the sovereign democracy that we all fought for, and to suggest otherwise really sometimes.
I'm a freelance with the Chronicle. I also report for Choice FM. I want to direct this question to the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmadu Lamin Samate. I don't know how often do you normally visit the Banjul Hospital, that's the RB hospital, because in my recent engagement with some of the patients who normally go there, with regards to emergency, sometimes those who are on emergency mode are not normally attended on time. The health center, the doctors there will tell them is that they lack enough hospital beds to put them. Sometimes even two people kind of share one bed. And I want you as the minister to shed light on how often do you normally visit the hospital to see the conditions that people are living there, and also with regards to some of the issues that are happening in the health center. Because I've talked to some of the people and they expressed some of their frustration with regards to some of the things that are happening in the health center, and also some of the things that they are facing. So I want to know how often do you normally visit the health center, and what are things that you normally get? That's my question.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. On the question, how often do I visit the FSTH? There is no pattern to my visit of the EFSTH, and there is no mandated frequency for me to visit the EFSTH. I visit the EFSTH very frequently when I want to spot check, and also when I just want to see what is happening there. It could be more than 3 times a week. It could be once in a fortnight. So there's no pattern for a minister to visit a particular institution, because the institution has its leadership. The chief medical director is there. The deputy chief medical director is there. It has a very vibrant board. That is, they are the ones running the institution. Just like the EFSTH, there are many institutions under the Ministry of Health. The Serekunda General Hospital is under the Ministry of Health. All the public health facilities are under the Ministry of Health, and we do bump into any of them at any time, some in odd times, to see what is happening. Now, with regards to the people at the emergency, sometimes they are told that the hospital is full. It is a reality that the hospital has become small for the people of this country, because the population is increased over the years, and the hospitals virtually remain the same. But because it is true, some people say things because they have things against individuals. Some people say things because of political reasons. Some people say things because of personal reasons. But I think it's the responsibility of the journalists to go to the root of the matter, go to the people who are concerned, and have a balanced picture. From my little experience, I have realized that when I hear one story from one person, I say, oh my goodness, you want to jump onto that person. But as you hear the narrative of the other person, you want to go back to the first person to jump onto that one. You realize that the fabrication you got earlier was not true. So we investigate, we'll get to the root of it, and the essence is we will act accordingly, appropriately, in a timely fashion to address all those issues. Thank you.
availability of masks we have and the affordability of Gambia. This process is that some people may not have the power to produce and stuff like that. And whether there are plans on the way to distribute masks across Gambia before the enforcement will begin.
Yes, thank you very much. The first question with regards to how safe EFSTH is. EFSTH is safe. Yes, some individuals have tested positive who work or are affiliated with the EFSTH, but that doesn't mean the entire hospital is not safe. You would have number of donors have donated the locally made mask, but I believe we should also endeavor to sew locally made masks for ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much. QTV, you asked a question on the announcement by the United States government regarding the case that has just been initiated to forfeit the property in Potomac in Maryland, the United States, claiming to be the property of former President Jammeh, and the reaction of the Gambia government to that. Well, thank you so much for that question. As a government, we are keenly following the process that has just been initiated. We have been collaborating with a number of countries around the world to help us trace properties or funds that could have been snatched out of this country, and to help us identify, and if the process of verification comes out in favor of the argument that they belong to the government of the Gambia, then they can return back to the government of the Gambia. And as this is going to be a court matter, we keenly await the process to be concluded, but we welcome the initial move, and we hope that it can come out in favor of the initiator of the process, the State Department responsible for this type of forfeiture. Fully,
my honest opinion.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There is not that. President Adama Barrow is the primus inter pares of this country. He's the first citizen. He has all the arsenals to hear and listen to whatever happens across the length and breadth of this country. So naturally, he's aware of what has happened. But was he aware before it happened? That's the question. Being aware before it happened suggests that he subscribed to that. President Barrow does not. He is aware of the ravaging danger of this disease. From the very onset of the disease, he came out with a package that is unprecedented in the history of this country. 700 million Gambian dollars across the length and breadth of this country. Not everybody got it, majority of Gambians got it. Because the restriction of the movement and the restriction of the movement of the Gambian people suggested that something has to be given to them to keep them calm at home. So a man who gives out this kind of package naturally would not go and endanger the life of the Gambian people. So I think it's a mistake, it's unwise, and Minister told measures are in place to tackle that situation. And when and if that happens, we will come and tell you what has happened. You know, it's regrettable. Regarding your other question directed at me, or directed to me, on pledge by President Barrow
to give 10% of his salary to the NDP cause. I actually don't know what is the status of that right now, because I am not responsible for computing salaries, but I can find out. Regarding the government's effort to support the business community, you have just seen, even in the National Assembly recently, a package that, we've put together, the computation that was done to look at the impact of COVID on the local businesses, the hospitality industry, the commerce and trade, and also the services, the service industry in this country. Now, the Gambia government is engaging the Gambia Chamber of Commerce through the National Business Council. They had their first meeting last Saturday, and they are coming to have another meeting tomorrow as part of efforts to look at the impact of COVID on the businesses and what can be done. A lot of suggestions have already been forwarded to the government through the Ministry of Finance. Some businesses are asking for tax deferral, some are asking for waivers, some are asking for direct support. So government is engaging them. We also know that we are a small country with a small economy, but that notwithstanding, we also understand the situation of the crisis burden on us by COVID-19, and we will do the needful to see that we give the necessary support to the indigenous businesses, because all throughout the world we know that it is the small-scale industries that actually are the biggest employers throughout Africa. So supporting them to survive, to continue to render the services that they are doing should always be our topmost priority, and that is our priority, and we are engaging them for an outcome. Thank you.
Centers are not full to capacity yet. That's why it's not been used. But we'll use it as and when we need it. But of course, we want to complete the whole place so that there's no patients on one side and then work going on the other side. But if we need to use it even today, we will rush to go and use it. Thank you very much. Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor, for the reminder. Your question is really very interesting and vital. Sustainability is very important in everything we do. We say our priority is providing water for every Gambian because water is a basic human right. For every borehole that we build, we have a water committee in that community. And people pay regularly, whether it's $5 per family or $10, they have their own bank account. What we have done, we have insured all these facilities for 1 year. If there is any problem within the 1 year, we will fix it. After the 1 year, we are expecting that if there is a problem, the community would have made some savings and they will use their resources now to fix it. But the way this structure is built, we don't envisage that they will have a lot of problems. If you see the quality of work, the stainless steel tanks, the network, you don't expect that they will have problems very soon. But in case they do, we are hoping they would have saved a lot of money to provide for the service to continue. As regards the feed mills, and the hatchery. For the hatchery, what we have done, we have trained 7 of our staff in aquaculture. These people are employed by the department, and they are posted at Jahali at the hatchery, and they will not only take care of the hatchery, they will be giving technical support to the communities that would have these facilities. As regards the feed mills, train 5 people from each of the 2 of them. The idea here is not only would they provide meal, feed for the whole country, I think that among those 5 people, they will have entrepreneurs that will begin to look at having their own feed mill. Because aquaculture can employ a lot of people, a lot of youth and a lot of women. Even individually at your own backyard, you can have your fish pond. So we hope that this will catch fire. Rather than going to the market to buy fish, you can have fish from your own pond. So we hope that the sustainability is inbuilt in both these 2 projects, and Gambians will take advantage of that.
Thank you, Usman Mane of GRTS. You asked this question of enforcing the regulation on wearing masks. I want to hope
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Just one very important thing that I almost forgot to talk about. I was reminded the Gambia government that the Gambia government takes very seriously, and we appeal to all of you as journalists and as communicators, reporters, and as citizens and as responsible human beings to keep the word going that in this country we are one and the same people. In the past 2 weeks, there has been a lot of peddling again on it about tribalism, ethnicity, insulting people, some very reprehensible remarks, quite frankly. We have seen this in the old dispensation, and we thought the idea of name calling of ethnic groups would have been history in this country. The Gambia is almost a very unique situation. We intermarry, we do everything in this country. If it is time for Christmas, you don't know who is Christian, you don't know who is Muslim. If it is time for Ramadan or whatever, it's the same thing. The Christian community respects the Muslim community to the extent that you don't even hear music. There is almost monastic silence in the whole country for the whole of Ramadan. And then as ethnic groups, Fula, Mandinka, Jola, these are all social constructions. At the end of the day, your ethnic and your intelligence, it does not determine your handsomeness or your ugliness. It doesn't determine your citizenship. It is who are you that defines you. So we are appealing to you journalists, to all of us for that matter, to avoid talking about issues that can bring ethnic tension and ethnic problems in this country. If you are going to interview somebody who is going to make remarks that are reprehensible about an ethnic group, please stay away from that. Instead, try to bring us all together. Nobody is superior to the other, but nobody also is inferior to the other. We are all citizens. We have seen Jawara from Barajali, a very modest background. He became president. Yajai, very modest background. Adama Barrow from Mankamang, very modest background. I think the Almighty God has even taught us something, that there's some humility even in selecting leaders. You know, we have people with 6 PhDs and master's degrees, they contest elections, they cannot even have 5 votes. So there must be a reason why the Gambian people do what they do. Our people sometimes don't go to school, but let's not think that not going to school doesn't mean that people are actually not sophisticated. Don't go to school, but let's not think that not going to school doesn't mean that people are actually not sophisticated. Yeah, on that note, I thank you all, honorable ministers, permanent secretary, senior government officials, representative of the police, members of the press corps, for your attention throughout this press corps, and for the discipline and the decorum in maintaining a very lively press conference. This is the maiden one, like the minister said. We also notice we have some problems, and we promise we will improve on them. Next time we meet, I'm sure we're going to have a podium. Instead of having to move from place to place, we will have a podium. And also there will be instances where we will be migrating from one place to another. Instead of like every minister coming here, sometimes we will also go to like the Minister of Defense, and then he will host us, or the Higher Education Ministry, so and more diverse. And also even our communication officers also will do now a better job. They have to summarize. As journalists, you should be able to summarize from every ministry, nothing more than 2 paragraphs. I think that has taken a toll of the press conference. At the end of this session, the minister wants to meet the newly appointed communication officers. So all communication officers should stay to have a meeting with the minister somewhere, about the new program. Meeting with the minister somewhere, about the new program.
Contact GCP. We tap, nurture, and promote Gambian talents and businesses. Think Promotion GCP. For all your event coverages, religious gathering, naming ceremonies, weddings, documentaries,